Don't jinx it. We're finna get Elder Scrolls 100 before GTA 6. That's actually a bold statement because Elder Scrolls 5 came out before GTA and we still don't have it. Literally, GTA 6, bro, it's a meme. We will get GTA 6 before Elder Scrolls 6. A big paradigm shift in gaming. Now, let me guess, it's going to have something to do probably where the main gaming industry is going. And I wanted to see what he's got to say, because oftentimes, guy's based, you know, he knows, oftentimes he knows what he's talking about. So let's go ahead, let's get right into it.
Hi guys, it's me.
Oh my god, wait, I like watching videos on higher speed sometimes. It's my fault.
And today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite AAA gaming. We're going to
All
look
right, AAA gaming. Wait, what did I say? What did I say? I literally just said that. Let's go.
at where it's been, why it exists right now, and where I think it's going, which is going to be the majority of them into the garbage. I've said this before, that
Yeah.
if you build 100 bridges and you suck one dick, you're not a bridge builder, you're a dick sucker. But if
Bro, I don't know if he invented that one. I don't know. I don't remember if somebody told him about that, but that hits so hard. Like, and it's so true too. Think about it. When you do a lot of, like, not a lot of great things, but you do a lot of good things, right? You're an overall good person. But then you mess up. You really mess up. What happens? What really happens? People remember what you did. People remember all the shit you done wrong, and that's how people are. That's how I am. That's how you are. Don't try with me. Never met someone. Make the volume higher, please. Okay, wait. I can, but I do not understand how much higher you need it to be. Hold up.
if you suck 100 dicks and you only build one bridge, you're Ubisoft. And the problem now is that we've got a lot of companies like that. Because they focus so much on trying to make these games and focusing on making them the most broad audience possible, making them have everything for everyone, that we get to a situation where one size fits none.
People thought that I meant that there's nothing wrong, but in reality, what I was trying to say is I don't care. And whatever he's talking about right now, when games try to pander to too many audiences, I mean, I'm in the middle and it doesn't really affect me, or at least not yet. You know what I'm saying? But as of now, it doesn't really affect me too much. So yeah, anyways, the point I was trying to make is specifically that. Like, I'm in the middle, so I'm not bothered by it. But I very clearly stated that whenever you don't go for your main audience, the people that will buy your games, that will mess your shit up.
And I think this has been an ongoing issue. It's been going on, I think, especially in the last, 10 years. I think COVID accelerated the goal with this.
The goats don't care, they just want a good game. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Look, I'm a part of that category. I personally don't care. We the goats. But, like, I have to understand the business perspective. It has to make sense.
This because of how much more money gaming is making now. COVID was kind of like a multiplier effect on that. But it's
COVID made people rich.
been going on for a while, and I want to explain kind of like where AAA gaming came from, because back in the day, we're talking about the 90s, even the 80s, right, with arcades and the original
That's low-key ancient,
consoles. But the 90s and the 2000s and a little bit into the 2010s, right? And not all the ways, as we all know, is that AAA gaming was a stamp of approval, a seal of quality, and it's funny now because it's almost the opposite.
Yeah,
it's like, well, this is a AAA game; it's coming from this big studio, so we know that.
Damn, bro. You know, if you think about it in that sense, it also sucks because this can be seen in a lot of different aspects, not only video games. Like, this happens in music as well. A lot of times you will find an artist that's not at the top of their game, but they're still somewhat relevant and they make low-key better music and they're more creative in their artistic styles, whether it's rap songs, whether it's just pop, whether it's country. I know this happens everywhere in the music industry as well. And you can go check it out. Like, a lot of the main artists that you have heard of lately, like the very big ones, often drop mid-ass shit. They're just trying to play it safe. They're trying to look at the numbers of what used to work and they kind of go on with the same thing. And it's the same thing here. The video game industry, like the big AAAs, they're kind of messing up in this sense because at the very least, the indie games, the smaller games, they actually try to do things. And so when you look at those category of games, you know that you might not find the best of the best, but you will very often find a fun game, which is what really matters, right?
It's going to have a number of annoying features. There's probably going to be, you buy the game on Steam and then you have to log on to their additional launcher in order to actually play it. All of these very, very annoying things. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people don't enjoy that. And the other big issue that AAA gaming has is that basically a lot of studios, and I think companies are doing this in general, this is something I think that we're also seeing in movies as well, where you're seeing these movies that are being made with these gigantic...
Bro, he's talking about other... Yeah, I swear, if anybody ever thinks something like... I have not watched this video. It's just like... I can see where he's going with it. And I think the reason why this is happening is because it's just straight up logic. Like, if you have at least like 2 working brain cells, you can start connecting the pieces. I'm not claiming to have more. But like, at the very least, you have to understand that whatever applies to gaming, gaming is the biggest industry right now. It's past movies and music combined. So if this is happening in gaming, for sure it's trickling down. It's been happening everywhere else.
Budgets, like everything is CGI. There's like all these A-list actors in it, and like the movie has a budget of like over $100 million maybe, or something like that. I don't know really what average movie budgets are, but it's probably even more than that in some cases. And then it makes back like a fraction of that money. And the reason what that does is it makes it to where every single movie has to be Spider-Man. Every single movie has to be.
Hey, don't talk about my favorite superhero like that. But he's so right. Everyone has to do the thing that works. They know what's popular. They're gonna do it.
Attached to an IP that can be attached to a line of toys.
No creativity, yes.
Sold to kids. And so now you don't get as many movies that take risks as much because those risks cost more money and it's harder to recoup the money back from the risk.
But my argument is, you got the money. Like, honestly, if you take a solid risk, but like still a somewhat calculated one, right? They're not dumb. They know they're taking calculated risks. If you take a solid risk, and let's say it doesn't do as well, all right? Let's say it doesn't. You got enough money to make more, and whenever you make that one, you take that one risk. Excuse me. That's not a flop. Everything you've worked for comes back. Everything. Kingdom Come Deliverance, the game I'm the most looking for. Risked. You know what? Fuck all that. Forget that. Game of the Years. Elden Ring. It Takes Two. I'm not going in order, by the way. I'm just naming some. God of War 2018. It was. I gotta admit, it is kind of like a generic main story game, right? Single player story game, fine. But it had to switch from God of War 1, 2, and 3 into a completely new style. Risk, buddy. Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. All of these games, Baldur's Gate, they all took a risk. By smart people who loved gaming. And they invested money in the places where they knew this is going to add good value.
Risks because you've lost the market of DVDs. And so this has been going on now for quite a while with movies, and I think video games now are starting to copy the trend. And what you're seeing now is that everything is 2. Everything is the next one of something that already previously existed.
Facts.
And of course, I mean, I say this, and if you guys can see what I'm playing playing Path of Exile 2, okay? So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but that is kind of what my point is that I think that studios like...
I'm not going to lie, I don't know enough about Path of Exile to comment on that.
Grinding Gear Games, studios like Warhorse that are making Kingdom Come Deliverance, and...
Shout out Warhorse, bruh! Yo, Kingdom Come era is coming, bro. 2025, we're taking over. We are taking over 2025. I know GTA 6, I know. And I'm super happy. I will play the fuck out of that game. But I don't give a shit. Kingdom Come, baby.
Other studios that are the more AA, like, quality studios I think that the real future is going to be those studios
Yup.
making the AAA games. It's like instead of
I mean, I think what's gonna happen is it's kind of like a cycle of like we had back then the Ubisofts, the EA, the whatever, right, the Activision and all that, and they kind of got old, and it's their time to go to their retirement home. They're still trying to be in the game, but it's like you guys don't have that new vision, I guess, or at least you lost it, and you're just money hungry now. And all the indie developers have kind of become double A now, and they're gonna replace the triple A's. Now I don't know if it's gonna repeat, but usually history does repeat itself, and so I wouldn't be surprised if the current double A's become triple A's, and maybe potentially in another 10, 15 years, maybe more. I don't know, but maybe they get replaced by newer games. I don't know, but sounds like a good, solid, sounds like a realistic pattern.
Publisher, a AAA developer making multiple AAA games. It's going to be one AA publisher, one AA studio making one AAA game.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing a lot more. And I think that whenever you really look at, because like especially live service games, you have to have such a finger on the pulse of the actual community of the game. You have to have everybody that's working there really understand it. I think that's what Blizzard had back in the 2000s with Warcraft.
They understood.
And if you look at any of the most popular video game franchises, and you look at the people that make the games are usually very good at those games. For example, like the Final Fantasy 16.
Most of the time that does matter. I don't think it can matter all the time to be good at the game you're making. It can sound kind of controversial, but like, in all honesty, like if Miyazaki's not good at Elden Ring or Souls games, I don't think it matters, really. At least some of the developers, some of the people playing the game, testing the game should be. I agree with that.
That went and one-shot the boss in front of a big audience before the game came out.
That's kind of cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It showed that, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He actually knows how to play his own game.
Facts.
Which in some cases, like Diablo 4, turned out to not necessarily.
Oh my god, I remember that. Do you guys remember when that happened? It was like, I think it was two girls playing the game. I don't remember very well, but I remember two developers, essentially, they were playing the game before it came out, Diablo 4. And by the way, I know nothing about Diablo 4. But I watched videos, I keep up. And, let's just say they sucked. Like, it was not a good look on whose hands the games are in. And, they could use the excuse that, but these people didn't make the game. They're just kind of like a part of it, and they're kind of part of the company, but they didn't necessarily make the mechanics. But then what the fuck are we doing here? You're trying to sell a game. There's going to be a new It Takes Two called Spirit Fiction, by the way. The devs are fine, it's the management that sucks. Yeah, honestly, first of all, I'm excited for that. And second of all, the thing is, as players of the game, think about it this way. Nobody really gives a shit if it's the dev, it's the manager, it's the fucking art director, it's the sound effect. I don't care. Really, think about that. Nobody gives a shit. We all want a good game. People want a good game. They want to spend money on a video game, and then when they play the video game, they have fun. That's how it usually works. If they spend money on the video game, get it sucks. They're not about to go research whose fault it was, and then, oh, guys, it wasn't the dev's fault. It was the management. It's fine. Get them next time. Maybe, especially there's some companies that release a game every like 6 years. What, you're going to wait 6 more years for a potentially new ass game? Nah. Wanting everything to be a cash grab. Damn.
Be the case. And so, anyway, what I think has happened is that you've seen these studios like Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft is it's the worst offender, where they're spending $100 million on a game and they're expecting a 20% return. Because would you rather have 20% on $10 million or 20% on $100 million?
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so that's the logic that they use, that they're going to just spend more money so they can multiply.
That sure has worked.
The largest amount of money possible. And I think that what's happening now is that is true, but it's also that you double down on a loss when it's not. And I think that's really the situation that we're seeing a lot of these studios run into.
What was it? They released Prince of Persia, I think. They didn't spend too much on it, but I think it was pretty well received, right? If I remember correctly, that happened.
When they release a game that's effectively a dud. And I think the reason why these games are getting released and they're trash is because consumer interests are changing so much faster than they used to.
Facts.
So think about it like
brain rot, shorter TikTok brains, I guess. Yeah, that also probably affects it. Yeah.
this. There are a lot of games that are in development for, I don't know, like
18 years.
6 years, for example.
That's on the low end.
6 years or 4 years in development is
Yeah.
very, very common. Think about how much different things were 4 years ago. Well, 4 years ago, we had COVID. Everything was totally different.
Okay, so what he's essentially... Wait, I'll listen to him before. They actually do look up who's at fault, especially with free-to-play games like Destiny 2. People have sent death threats to... Okay. See, people have sent death threats to devs when the game has a shitty expansion. You mean idiots. People whose opinions don't matter. People who you should literally block immediately. I'm talking about normal people, right? I'm talking about people who don't send death threats to people who are just doing their job. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it does not matter if, like, even if you were to go and hunt down the person who was at fault or the people who are at fault, the game still sucks. It doesn't fix shit. The game still sucks. It's gonna suck. Their next game, it's probably gonna suck still.
People were addicted to Genshin Impact,
Yep.
and everybody was spending all day on the internet. Well,
Yes.
you can't necessarily develop a game around that, that context. And
People
6
aren't
years
on the
ago,
internet anymore.
If you
Yeah.
started making
As
a
much.
game, well, if you just got inspired by Fortnite, man, you're a little bit late now, aren't you? And so
Yeah.
what we're seeing now,
Battle royales and stuff. Everyone's capitalized on that game already. Everyone's made it. PUBG. I think PUBG was. Wait. Hold up. Whoa. Okay, so PUBG came first. A couple of months. All right, so PUBG, Fortnite, even all the other games. There's COD, there's Apex, there's so many battle royales. Look up the first battle royale. Oh, actually, yeah, PUBG was first. Yeah, you said it too. Sorry, I didn't see it, but yeah. Correct, sir.
is that we're seeing smaller studios, these AA studios. I think the best example of this, too, that you can use besides grinding gear games is Larian, who made Baldur's Gate 3.
Oof.
Is that Baldur's Gate 3...
I haven't played I should play Baldur's Gate 3, right? I feel like that would make a lot of sense for me.
It took an incredibly long time to make, but it didn't follow any trends because it didn't need to. There were no, outside pressures, outside investors.
And that's the beauty of creativity. People don't think of the fact that following trends is a very good example, is a very good thing to do. If you don't really, you're not really trying to be super creative. You're just trying to kind of ride the wave and get some success off of it. But most of the time, the people that become the most successful is when they do their own thing. That doesn't mean you don't get inspired. That doesn't mean you're completely off of everything that's trending. I'm just saying your initial goal is to be yourself. And a game, when the game is itself in its own creativity, that's when we get Game of the Year material. Now, I don't know about this year's Game of the Year, 2024. I haven't played Astrobot. From what I've heard, it's great. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think.
Being a publicly traded company was not causing them to have to, monetize the game in a way that was annoying. It was just them making a good game and then delivering it to players. And I think AAA game studios have, instead of becoming, too big to fail, they've become too big to succeed. And I've said this before, and I think it becomes increasingly more true every year. And you're seeing these massive studios laying off. I didn't even know this. Ubisoft has 20,000 employees. How do you do that? There are so many people.
Wow. 20,000 employees. God damn. I mean, I guess they got so many other things they're doing other than focusing on their one good game they're about to release. I guess it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Also, let me point out, why the fuck is his camera so ass here? It's funny. It actually makes me feel kind of in a cozy vibe. But what the fuck?
That work
his streaming camera is better.
Probably at these studios that have jobs that are, not particularly super involved with the actual creation of the product. And I think that's very obvious considering that they fire bunches of people and the products keep
Astrobot
being made.
is cool.
So the issue is that you have a massive
I saw Senpai play it, okay.
And then you have massive budgets, and then you have massive expectations, and a priority system that's created by people who don't actually have the player's interests in mind.
I mean, look, I can give a very clear example. If anyone's watching this video and thinking like of, I'll just relate this to creating videos. If I have a deadline in my head and I want to post a video, let's say tonight, there's a higher chance for me not to spend an extra amount of time editing my video, which that doesn't mean that editing your video is the only thing that makes your video good. You have to get better. But the point I'm trying to make is this can be related to, again, everything other than just gaming. Whatever you do with a deadline and you're kind of late on the deadline cuts your own creativity out, and players feel it. They see it. Like it's sometimes you can point it out, sometimes you can't. It's just lacking soul.
And what I'm saying by that is, I think a good example of this is if you look at a lot of the, like video games that have like actors in them. Like I think Senua's Saga 2 is a really great example of a game
I don't know that game.
is made for an audience of gamers that doesn't really exist. So obviously the game was
All right.
popular for some people, and there were a good number of people that bought and played the game. But the reality is that it really wasn't that big, and they probably didn't recoup their costs.
Yeah.
And what happens is that games journalists and games media, and I think just the games industry itself, likes to gas itself up about these types of games, but I don't actually think that these are the types of things that players are actually looking for. And I think that's reflected in the sales, and this happens over and over and over. People play video games because they like playing video games.
Okay.
While there are exceptions, they are very few and far between. And so what's...
I like how, as like, I don't know if he's been doing this for a very long time, but I like how oftentimes when he mentions something and he says, oops, sorry. Bro, like, what the fuck is happening? My boom, damn. I like how whenever he mentions something, he oftentimes says, there are exceptions, but we're not going to talk about those, because that shit annoys me to fuck off, bro. Whenever people say something and then they're like, oh yeah, when I said people want a good game, if I get a comment saying something like, but actually, I like it when the game is bad because it's funny for me. Like, I don't even want to respond. He responds to
himself. What's happened
himself.
is that these studios have convinced themselves they need to do all these things that players don't really care about, and they do them at the expense of the things that players do really care about, which is replayability, actual play, like playing like the experience you have playing the game in the minute-to-minute basis.
And how you feel? Really, is the game good?
I've been playing like on top of like Path of Exile 2, I've also been playing off-stream Stalker 2, and holy shit, that game is great. And it's made by, again, a AA, a smaller studio, but they've come together to really make an incredible game. And I think having a, like a focus, I remember, there was like a really good metaphor that like in Game of Thrones,
very long time, like 4 years, 5 years.
Armies or one army, and like really it's the one army that's a lot stronger. And I think that's what we're starting to see a lot more with these games.
Well, yeah, when they focus on
studios that are focusing entirely on making one defined product
good
for
game,
a defined audience that they have a finger on the pulse of, and they're able to deliver a product to them that meets their needs and exceeds them in a lot of cases.
I'm waiting.
That is the future for games.
And it's finished. Also, sorry, I just had to add that. When the game comes out, finished. Now, I don't mind if there's a small little thing. Like a little thing, shit happens. Whatever, right? But the game has to feel full as well. Everything he said, and also finished. Please remember that. Please.
And I think also what's going to make this even more the future is the fact that you're going to
Which is, by the way, what surprised me of Kingdom Come 2 as well, is that they're pulling back. Like, instead of February 11th, it's going to come out a week earlier on the 4th. It's like, holy shit, your guys' games is really finished then, right? Because I'm like glazing the shit out of Kingdom Come. But if the game comes out half-baked for some reason, right? No chances, bro. I'm shitting on it hard. Full swept diarrhea mode.
A lot
Full
of these
throttle.
Studios, the layoffs are going to keep happening. And the reason why is because of different types of ways that you can effectively, like, it's not really all AI, but in some cases it is. If you can have one person do the job of 3 people through some sort of procedural generation or some form of technology, well, then you're going to have that happen. And as that happens, it becomes easier and it lowers that bar to entry for the quality that people expect whenever they're paying $70 or $60 for a video game.
And now your reputation's through the mud.
That's where I think AAA gaming is going to go. I think AAA gaming is going to have to become, like, I don't know, they're going to have to scale down. And I feel like there are a few exceptions, right? We're always...
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna mention like Rockstar here.
He's gonna have Rockstar, from some.
Yo, I swear to God, bro, I'm actually pretty good at this. What the fuck? Like, I swear, I have not seen this video before.
Software, Capcom, stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, okay, I can't show off that much either. It's kind of fucking obvious what he's about to say. Again. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, if you have like 3-4 working brain cells, even 2, you're good.
But I think that many of these other studios are probably going to have to narrow down on one or maybe just a couple of IPs and then develop products for just those IPs rather than trying to release a bunch of different products and just like, well, if we sell 1 million of them for $10, we're going to make $10 million. Wow, why don't we sell 1 million of them at $1 million?
Hello, I know you from The Elder Scrolls. Nice sock on the microphone. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you will notice it, but the sock is for the voice quality, and it's kind of just a vibe. I've had this for like a fucking year now, so it's my cozy sock, But yo, shout out, Clar. Shout out for coming here. I had stopped streaming on YouTube, and now there's multi-streaming, so I don't have to choose between Twitch and YouTube. I just stream on both, as well as this can actually keep my VODs live. That's also kind of cool. Kenats is a French clone of Asmongold, confirmed. Eh ben, tabarnak. Il m'a eu. Yeah, you're right. I am, I guess. I wouldn't say a clone. I don't really think I live like him, but some of his takes are fire. Like, it is what it is. I vibe with it. But yeah, bro, enjoy the stream. You're here now. This is going to be a VOD later on, so yeah. I'm reacting to some shit. I'm thinking of a new game to play. I don't know what yet. I'm thinking maybe I'll continue Wukong. Anyways, this reaction is going to be posted on my YouTube later on. So, yeah.
Or something like that, right? Some variation of this. And it's just like the idea that, well, we can just keep making more money.
Okay, yes, that's a sock. Don't say ew. It's obviously cleaned. And it's also unworn. I mean, it was worn one day. Look, I lost the other pair as everyone does. Fuck, everybody loses their socks. I wasn't gonna throw it. I said, might as well add a good muffler. I saw a YouTuber that said literally putting on a sock on your mic can help. No, it's a fucking vibe.
Because there's no sense of market saturation.
Let's get back to business.
There's very clearly been a market saturation, hasn't there? And we're seeing that, express itself.
Obviously,
right now,
every market gets saturated.
A lot of games that just don't have the marketing. There's just so much of an economy of attention. There's only so many people that can pay attention to so many games.
Yes,
I think again, when you have like your story game or whatever that is focused on motion capturing facial movements, that just doesn't fucking matter to a lot of people.
Well, exactly. Like if the game company's able to do both, like if you're able to focus on the motion, the word he used, and at the same time you're able to make a good game with a good story and good gameplay, you know the whole list, right? You're able to do both. Yeah, then you got Rockstar. But you know what I'm saying? But if you had to choose the right one, man. Choose the one that's gonna make me play your game and then make a fucking game review. And when I talk about your game, I give it like I don't have a rating system yet. Kenats does not have a rating system, guys. But whatever it will be, at the top, or at least close.
Like, I don't give a shit about that. I don't think a lot of people do. It's nice when the games have it,
yeah.
But I'm certainly not going to play a game because of it. But if a game has good gameplay,
Facts.
I will play a game because of it, even if the face models go like this. I don't give a shit. And I don't think most other people do.
Plus, you can throw the sock in the washing machine. I messed up my mic foam like this. Yeah, that happens. Serious reactions over here. What's your take on a AAA games? Are they gonna take over the gaming world? Wait, what? Serious reactions? What's your take on AAA games? Are they gonna take over the gaming world? Well, AAA games kind of were. Still are in a sense. The whole gaming world in a sense, but they were more. Now they're not. Now double A games are kind of, indie games and double A games are kind of starting to push through. And I think in the future, what we're going to see is the double A games become the triple A games. That's what I think is going to happen. Triple A games is essentially, the way I see it at least, it's kind of just a status. Like triple A, it's like it's real shit, you know? But if triple A games studios start acting like shit, they're going to have to scale down or something. I don't know, bro. Like,
either,
damn.
Except for other journalists and people in the industry. So what we're going to see more of is we're going to see these AA studios that, and I think that another reason why this is happening too is like distribution and publishing. Being able to publish a game. Think about how many hoops you had to jump through in order to get your game on Nintendo 64, or in order to get your game on Super Nintendo, or even something like the GameCube. It was much harder to do than now, where all you have to do is, put your game out on Steam and then, post it on Baldi's subreddit. And if the people like it, maybe he'll watch it.
Yeah, actually, that's also true. Whenever everybody has access to just enter it, you're going to just see a lot of random shit.
And then it'll be in a YouTube clip, it'll get 100,000 views or more. And so that's pretty easy to do, right?
Marketing, easy marketing.
To, trying to work around, a Japanese company's expectations in the year 2003. Much, much harder to do. And so nowadays, I think you're seeing much more people able to get into that space and grow in that space much more quickly. And that's why you're going to see those AA studios that focus and narrow in on just like that one solid, really good product. That is where I think the future is.
And that's why they're probably going to become the future AAA games. Yeah, I'm saying it here.
I think that also AAA studios, this is another big problem, is that, what I was saying before with Ubisoft, they've sucked a lot of dicks. And the problem now is that residual taste in people's... let's go ahead and just stop right there.
Yeah.
People think that their next games are going to be bad because their previous games have been bad.
Yes.
And so there is a reputational damage that...
By the way, that's what a lot of people said in my video on Intergalactic, especially with Naughty Dog's reputation. The way I saw it is like they've made the Uncharted's and the first Last of Us bangers. Then they made Last of Us 2, which, hey, for me it wasn't that bad. Hey man, personal opinion. But I can see how it was way weaker than the other ones. And based off of the second game's weakness and Intergalactic's, the way they portrayed the character and the vibe it gave, blah, 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 people keep the reputation. Since you made a game I didn't like, you're probably going to make ass again. Plus, now we kind of have proof. We saw a bald lesbian girl. There it is. I hate the game.
That exists beyond the lifespan of the game that has problems. And that's effectively what I'm trying to say.
The digital footprint, I guess, of gaming.
And so what I think that we're seeing with Ubisoft and other studios is that they have this reputational damage, this generational reputational damage. Blizzard's another great example of this. And it makes it to where every game that they release is taken with such a massive grain of salt that a lot of people write it off before it even releases.
But yeah, it makes sense. Like, doesn't it though? If every video I make on YouTube for the next 15 videos is dookie water garbage poop, you think the 11th one is going to be great? You're really going to click on my video? No. Until now, I think what I've posted is just essentially me. And if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. And that's it. So my next video is going to be about the same. I'm keeping my own, vibe. If a game studio releases 5 dookie water, dog water garbage poop, what do you think is going to be their 6th one? I mean, yeah, if they make, some weird breakout hit, they fire a lot of the bad staff or whatever, hire new people, start focusing in the right direction, make a good game, they can turn it around. But, rep is everything. Nobody remembers the past, only the present. If they mess up, people gonna get on the hate train for a while until the internet moves on to the next big thing. Yes, and the internet will move on to the next big thing and always remind you of how this company sucks, unless the company does something good. Cyberpunk 2. No need to say more, right? CD Projekt Red. I think it's them that made it, right? Now they're gonna come out with The Witcher 4 because Cyberpunk 2 was kind of fixed. Wait, let me not be a dumbass for a second. What's the name? Project Red Games. Let me just not be an idiot, okay? Cyberpunk The Witcher. Okay, there it is. I knew it. Yeah, okay, so essentially, yeah. Now people have a higher expectation in a more happy way because at the very least they fixed Cyberpunk, right? So now The Witcher 4 is coming out and they're like, these people can do it. They still got it in them. And that matters.
They don't even know what it is. Oh, it's a Blizzard game. It's a Ubisoft game. It's EA. Of course it's going to be garbage.
Facts.
And so
facts.
Newer studios that focus on one product don't
like sorry, but who can actually watch this video and say like, yeah, he doesn't have some base like actual fact takes. Like, it's just true, man.
They really have that reputation. Or at least in a lot of cases they don't. And if they do, they go out of business, right? And I think that's what happens in some cases. But that's where I think the future is of AAA gaming. I think that they have to narrow down and focus more on a number of individual IPs rather than trying to just get a 20% return on as many things as possible. I think that there is very clearly a market saturation. There's very clearly a market cap. And I think that we're beginning to explore that reality now. And I think that's become evident after about, I'd say 2022, after like the COVID level of like internet usage and video game usage kind of went back down. And then also it wasn't recovering at the 20% or 10% year over year expectations that a lot of tech companies were, getting investments under the expectation of. And so
Concord for the week it lasted before it crumbled. Yeah, Concord did horribly, but we know what happened with Concord. Honestly, wow, fuck, man. Like the game's focusing too much. It feels like regurgitating at this point. Like we keep repeating the same thing, and I feel like until we get a new game, like we're gonna get some new games this coming year, and they're gonna be such good examples. Whether they're good or bad, think about that. Whether the new games that come out will be good games or bad games, they can both be used as a good example for other game companies to follow. But will they? Remains to be discovered, but I got a pretty good guess.
Happen is, you're going to have a lot of these AAA studios that just simply can't meet the expectations of such a massive ship. It's like, how easy is it to turn a Titanic versus a Viking longboat, right? And that's why you see small games like Valheim doing a whole lot better than big games like Skull and Bones. And there it is, a quadruple A game.
Quadruple A game.
1A for each player. And so that's what...
It's true, actually. Skull and Bones, I think, came out as it was going to be the quadruple A. Oh, fuck me, bro. Fuck me. I feel like the only game company right now that can even usher the word quadruple before saying A games is probably Rockstar. I have high faith that Rockstar is not only going to make a straight up good game with the whole gameplay and all the catalog, but also just straight up advanced AI and graphics and everything to the mind-blowing limits. That's probably the only one right now I can think of that can even use that term.
What happens? That's where I think things are going to go, and I think the future that we're really going to see is going to be in the indie studios and the AA studios that focus in.
They won't be indie and AA for way too long, by the way.
Creating one AAA high-quality
for a while.
Experience game, like Path of Exile 2, Stalker 2,
Stalker 2, I'll look into
Baldur's Gate 3, stuff like that. And I think that's going to be the future of games. And you know what I think? I think that is such a good thing. That is an amazing, great thing, because those studios have a much better understanding of what the players want, and I'm a player.
By the way, don't forget, those studios are still consisting of humans, and so they might do well for now. Then 10 years, 15 years down the line, they might become just like today's AAA. We might not be imagining how it can happen. I right now can't give you a realistic example of how that will happen, but there's a very high chance that that happens in the way whenever in 2035, however things will be working by then, everything will be changed. In those days' lifestyle, maybe they will do something like that as well, but it won't matter because there will be new AA game studios and the cycle continues.
So yeah, that's about it, guys. I thought I'd make this video and talk about this
good video
because I see a lot of people bringing it up very regularly, and I wanted to give my 2 cents. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And
let's see what some of these assholes have been saying. There has never been a better time than now to work through your Steam backlog instead of buying anything new out. Yeah, facts. Let's give him the big 420 blaze. I'm just trying to make sure in my stream that you guys can see the comment that my camera is not blocking it. The problem isn't these gaming companies trying to find possible, is the opposite. You're trying to cater to the most fringe. Yeah. Gameplay, not graphics, wins the day. Of course, remember at the point everybody was Larian Studios, even Disney started from nothing. Who would even... Yup, which means if history repeats itself, there's a fair to good chance that everybody consistently successful becomes a soulless profit-making corporation. Yeah, they're all consisting of humans. It's just how it is. Like, every human gets corrupted at some point. Don't jinx it. We're finna get Elder Scrolls 100 before GTA 6. That's actually a bold statement, because Elder Scrolls 5 came out before GTA and we still don't have it. Literally, GTA 6... Bro, it's a meme. We will get GTA 6 before Elder Scrolls 6. Oh my god. That is actually sad to think about. Holy shit. Wow, that's bad. Thanks for watching, guys. This was the reaction to a big paradigm shift in gaming by Asmongold. Let me know if you like these types of videos. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to comment what you think. And on that note, Kenats out. Peace.